brought in a second item with you, such as a briefcase, tote bag, laptop bag, backpack, you can go ahead and utilize that space under the seat in front of you, so that we can utilize that overhead bin space for your larger bags without having to check them plain sight to your final destination. Feel free to utilize your mobile phones, tablets, and e-readers while we're here at the gate. However, once we close our boarding door, you must please place these items into airplane mode or turn off your cellular service. So we'd like to thank you all for choosing to fly Delta. Welcome on board.
Addison, can you go ahead and get our IFR clearance to LAX?
I'll get our IFR clearance to LAX now.
Minneapolis clearance, Delta 2122. We'd like to receive our IFR clearance. We have Romeo.
Clearance on request. Stand by. Delta 2122, Minneapolis clearance cleared to Los Angeles via the Shep 1 departure, then is filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure on 124.700, squawk 3556. Expect runway 12 left.
Addison, you're in charge of all comms.
Alright, I'm in charge of the comms now, Steve.
Please get our pushback and start clearance.
I'll get our pushback clearance now, Steve.
Minneapolis ground, Delta 2122, requesting pushback. We are with information, Romeo.
Delta 2122, pushback approved. Tail northeast.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Hey Luis, good evening, morning. I always get okay. It's good. You're morning. Okay, you're good morning. Okay.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed.
Welcome aboard.
Ready to connect. Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Flight attendants, prepare your doors for departure, please. Cross-check and I'll call. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board your Delta flight. So in just a moment, we'll be showing you a brief presentation on the safety features of this aircraft. We kindly ask that you please direct your attention to the video monitors and flight attendants in the aisle, even if you are a frequent flyer. Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard, and thank you for choosing Delta for 100 years and counting.
Delta.
Delta. Delta.
Delta Airlines.
The health and safety of our customers and crew is our #1 priority and the shared responsibility of everyone on board. So, before we depart, please pay attention to this important message. Stow all carry-on items in an overhead bin and place smaller items completely under the seat in front of you.
Larger electronic devices must be placed in a bag. Handheld portable electronic devices, including mobile phones, should also be secured.
Keep the aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas clear. If you lose an electronic device in your seat,
Operation complete. Set
please do
parking
not
brake.
adjust your seat and ask a crew member for help.
As we leave the gate, fasten your
Disconnecting
seatbelt by
tow.
inserting
Stand
the metal
by.
tip into the buckle and adjusting the strap so it's low and tight across your lap. To release, lift the top of the buckle. If your seat has a shoulder harness, attach the metal tip to the fitting on the belt. To release, push the metal tip down. Stay seated with your seatbelt fastened when the seatbelt sign is on, and keep it fastened whenever you're seated in case of sudden rough air. In the event of rough air, the crew might also need to buckle up for safety. We appreciate your understanding if our service is interrupted.
Federal regulations require all passengers to comply with all crew members' instructions, along with the posted placards and lighted information signs throughout the cabin. Smoking, vaping, The use of e-cigarettes or any smokeless product, including chewing
So
tobacco,
it's disconnected.
is not
Unbike
allowed
captain
on
has been
any
removed.
Delta
Hand
flight.
signal on the left.
Federal law
We'll see you
prohibits
next time and
tampering
have a
with,
safe flight.
disabling, or destroying restroom
We are
smoke
flying
detectors.
from Minneapolis, St. Paul
There
to
are 8 exits on this
LAX
plane. 8
tonight.
doors, 4 on each side. Each
I
door
will
has a
use some
detachable
time
slide that can be
compression
used as a raft.
cruise.
In the event of an
Save a
evacuation,
little bit of
leave
time.
all bags behind.
So it shouldn't be a
Carrying
terribly
baggage
long
will
flight.
slow the evacuation. All exits are clearly marked with the green exit symbol. Locate the nearest exits and remember, they might be behind you. If we lose power, lights will illuminate the aisles to guide you to an exit.
LAX is a
It's unlikely, but if cabin
custom
pressure
scenery
changes,
airport.
oxygen
Looks
masks
really
will drop
nice.
from the panels above your seat and inside the lavatories. Reach up and pull a mask or streamer down to start the flow of oxygen. Remove any face covering and place the mask over your nose and mouth. Slip the elastic strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note the oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
A water evacuation is also unlikely, but just in case. Life vests are in a compartment beneath or adjacent to your seat. To use, remove the vest from its container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch. Slip the vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, attach it to the buckle in front, and adjust securely around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate the vest by pulling down on the red tab at the bottom, or manually inflate it by blowing into the tube at shoulder level. A water-activated light is attached to each vest. For children under 35 pounds, place the vest around their waist and secure the strap between the legs. See your safety card for more information. Additional life vests for in-lab children are in marked compartments at the front and rear of the plane. We'll distribute these vests if necessary.
Before takeoff, bring your seat to its upright position and stow your tray table, footrest, and leg rest. Be sure
Well,
you fastened your seatbelt low and tight across
we
your lap.
did
Carry-on
not
items
use time
secured,
compression,
and armrests are at resting
it would be a
position.
4-hour flight.
Or as otherwise indicated on the
It
placard
will
in front of
probably
you.
be
If you have a
more in
suite door,
the
ensure
area
it's open.
of,
See placard instructions
1
inside
hour
the
and
suite
45
door for
minutes.
opening instructions in case of emergency. Finally, take a moment to review the safety information card in your seat pocket.
Addison,
As we finish our safety check, please let us know if you have any questions.
As we take off into the future, sit back and relax.
I'll get out taxi clearance
and from
now,
all
Steve.
of our crew, thank you for flying with Delta, today and for the next
Minneapolis
100
ground,
years.
Delta 2122, ready to taxi with Romeo.
Delta 2122, runway 12 left, taxi via Delta, Papa 10.
Runway 12 left, Delta, Papa 10.
Fortunately, we're not a long way away from our takeoff runway. Now, I'm fairly certain, yeah, Minneapolis St. Paul here is a straight out of Windows X, think this will be my only flight tonight. It was long enough. But yeah, so this Minneapolis St. Paul to LAX is about a 4-hour and 15-minute flight. But we will time compress the cruise time. Addison, do the takeoff briefing. Good
All right,
evening, Mr.
Steve.
Web
Here's the
Solution.
takeoff briefing. We'll be departing from runway 12 left. We're flying the Shep 1 departure with an initial climb clearance to 4,000. Transition altitude is 18,000. After takeoff, we'll follow the SID profile, climbing to flight level 360. Weather at departure shows no significant weather expected en route. In the event of an engine failure below 400, we'll continue straight ahead and follow ATC instructions. Above 400, we'll follow the engine out SID procedure, climbing to 3,000 before turning back. For any abnormalities or emergencies before V1, we'll reject the takeoff and apply maximum braking. After V1, we'll continue the takeoff, handle the emergency, and communicate with ATC. We've been cleared
That's
as
it.
filed.
Good morning to you.
Squawk code is 3556,
Good evening
and departure
here.
frequency will be 124.7. We're configured for takeoff with flaps 5. V1 is 142 knots, VR is 147 knots, and V2 is 152 knots. We'll climb out at V2 plus 10 knots. I think we're ready to go, Captain.
I agree. Landing lights are on. Chronos are started. And did you get our takeoff clearance? Yeah, this
I'll get our takeoff clearance now, Steve.
Minneapolis Tower, Delta 2122, holding short of runway 12 left. We are ready for departure.
Delta 2122, Minneapolis Tower, runway 12 left, wind 070 at 5. RNAV hugger cleared for takeoff.
Runway 12 left, RNAV hugger, cleared for takeoff. Delta 2122.
That's it. Well, it's yeah, 11:09. You're right. All right, 40%. All right, we're stable and more pressure on the yoke. I believe so. I believe so. And I'm going to get some good rest tonight. I'll tell you a story in a minute about my earlier flight.
contact departure on 124.7.
We clear to departure on 124.7, Delta 2122.
Right flaps are retracted, autopilot, and our initial climb is 4,000.
Minneapolis departure, Delta 2122. Good evening, climbing through 2000.
Delta 2122, Minneapolis departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain 10,000, turn left heading 235, vectors to Hugger, then on course.
Climb and maintain 10,000, left heading 235, vectors to Hugger, then on course. Delta 2122.
Right, we're good. Vectors to Hugger. Yeah, I didn't get enough rest done, but I did
Ladies and gentlemen, as we climb to our cruising
have an
altitude,
issue with my
I'd like to
earlier
extend
flight. I'll
special
tell you all about in a minute.
thank you to each of you, and welcome back to our SkyMile members and Million Milers. Your business and loyalty are greatly appreciated by the entire Delta family. For your safety, it's important to remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt sign is on. If the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened in case we experience any unexpected rough air. We ask that you also please remember to use caution if opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted during takeoff. Now reaching altitude where it's safe to use approved electronic devices, and a listing of these devices can be found in Sky Magazine in the seat pocket in front of you. On today's flight in the economy cabin, you will be our pleasure of complimentary Coca-Cola products, Starbucks coffee, water, juices, a variety of complimentary snacks, as well as a selection of our fresh eats items and all-day goodies. Beer, wine, and spirits are available complimentary for our first class and Delta Comfort Plus passengers, as well as available for purchase for the main cabin. A complete listing of available beverages, as well as of our fresh eats items can be found in the menus in your seat pocket. Please be reminded that Delta accepts only major credit or debit cards for onboard purchases of beverages and snacks. However, you can use your Delta SkyMiles American Express card to save 15% and earn double miles on all Delta purchases. For your enjoyment, HC is equipped with your own personal entertainment system. On it, you can view a selection of complimentary as well as on-demand TV shows, movies, and music. You will find that this screen will work best with just a light tap on your fingertip. Feel free to use your own headsets. Otherwise, if you do need a headset, just let a flight attendant know they are yours complimentary for this and any future Delta flights.
Still haven't been given an okay to climb. Earlier today, so I started flight early this morning, the one that was going to from Atlanta to Milan. I could not get back to my computer. I sent Flight Sim in time. And I
Delta 2122, speed 270 knots.
By 460 miles.
We're currently near Flying Cloud Airport, which sounds like a place where clouds go to catch their flights, but really it's just an airport. It opened in 1941, which is quite old, like most of my socks. During World War II, it was used for training pilots, which is a bit like teaching someone to drive, but with more sky and less road rage.
I believe it is.
My mate Toby
Late night
once
live
tried to
is
land
okay.
a remote-controlled plane here, and accidentally started a small stampede of geese. He claims it was a protest against gravity, but I think he just likes chaos. Anyway, Flying Cloud is now mostly used for general aviation, which means people fly here for reasons that are generally aviation related.
Thanks to the tour guide. Yeah, in fact, I almost made it to a diversion.
Delta 2122, climb and maintain flight level 280.
Climbing and maintaining flight level 280. Delta 2122.
Could not quite make it. I came close. I found the nearest airport. Was able to descend down to 3,000 and ran out of fuel like less than 8 miles from the runway. So could not do it. Almost made it, but and it had I took a direct to what was it? Zureg, Croatia. Is where I ended up trying to divert. It didn't work for me. Yeah, you were good to miss that one, especially if you forgot your parachute. Next marker will be 18,000 for altimeter to go to standard. Yeah, I was so close. Just didn't quite make it. And the only reason, like I say, if it wasn't for fuel, and there
Delta 2122, climb and maintain flight level 330.
Climb and maintain flight level 330. Delta 2122.
Now there is like a little shortcut or cheat that you can do in flight, and it completely kills my ACARS, but by then I could have done this, and that's just simply load the fuel from the
Delta
flight
2122,
configuration.
contact Minneapolis Center on 135.0.
Switching to Minneapolis
And if
Center
I would
on
have done that, I could have
135.0.
made it.
Delta 2122.
Right, we're at
Minneapolis Center,
17,000.
Delta 2122. Good evening, climbing through 16,000 for flight level 330.
Delta 2122, Minneapolis Center, climb and maintain flight level 330.
Step
Climb and
climbing us
maintain
up.
flight level 330. Delta 2122.
So for this flight, we're at 18,000 now. When we get up to our cruise altitude of 360, I'll time compress by 3 times to cut down on the cruise time.
Since there's absolutely nothing but fields and the odd cow visible from up here, let's talk about Le Sueur, the nearest town. Le Sueur is famous for inventing the Jolly Green Giant, which is a massive green bloke who encourages people to eat vegetables by looming over them. The town itself was founded in 1852, which is quite old, but not as old as the can of peas Toby once found in his Nan's pantry. Toby tried to impress a girl by dressing up as the Jolly Green Giant at the town's festival, but he used actual peas glued to his skin.
Delta 2122,
He ended
climb
up
and
being
maintain flight
chased
level
by a flock of
360.
hungry pigeons and banned from the local grocery store
Flight
for
level
life.
360, Delta 2122.
Yeah, I definitely think it probably would have killed the realism. But by the time I had overflown the runway by 460 miles, I think I could never submit that ACARS. There's another written rule about submitting ACARS or like PIREPs, pilot reports. You have to have a minimum of at least 600 pounds of fuel, and I was down to like nothing, almost nothing. Okay, so climb's pretty good, this particular aircraft. So I've got these set for. At the LAX airport we're going to is really well done. It's a Nimbus airport, so of course it's going to be awesome. Excuse me. Okay. So we are at 230, climbing to 360. Ground spoiler is disarmed and flaps are completely retracted. Predictive wind shear is on and ignition is off. Also, our auto brake is in the off position, which is what it's supposed to be. Your chronos are counting our time, and we are 16 minutes since we took off. I'll tell you, that was aggravated me because I just couldn't get back. So I had set that flight. I went up to cruise altitude, had that flight set, and it went for what would equate to 10 hours and 45 minutes. I get in the mood for certain things. I like Toto, like Africa. That's a good one. I'm believing you're going to make it on this one. You don't need the parachute. We're good. We have 23,100 pounds of fuel, which is plenty to get us to LAX.
Since there's absolutely nothing but fields and the odd cow visible from up here, let's talk about Sleepy Eye, the nearest town. Sleepy Eye is named after Chief Sleepy Eye, who, as far as I know, wasn't actually asleep all the time, just had a bit of a droopy eyelid. The town was founded in the 1800s, which is so long ago that even the cows probably remember it. Toby once tried to impress the locals by pretending to be Chief Sleepy Eye at the town parade, but he fell asleep halfway through his speech and had to be carried off by the high school marching band.
See, what's another good song? Kenny Rogers' Danger Zone. Oh, what did you hear, Web Solution? What'd you hear, Web Solution? Oh, Sleepy Eye. Yeah, you know what? You said Smoke on the Water. You stuck to that one. Must really be your favorite. Yeah, I told you, I think, my story on Smoke on the Water, which is when I was in 4th grade, I had a 45 record of Smoke on the Water. One side was Smoke on the Water, and the other side was Clowns to the left of me, Jokers to the right, Stuck in the middle with you. Stuck in the middle with you. I remember that was one side of the 45, and then Smoke on the Water was on the other. And that's the first song I ever learned on a bass guitar. All right, we're chipping along. We're at 31310, and as soon as we hit 360, I will start about what would be about 3 times time compression, and that should get us close a little bit sooner, and we'll start our descent into LA. All right, we hit 32,000. I will say I love the uniformity of the Airbus from the 320, the A320 to the 321 Neo to A330 to even the A340-600. Some similarities in the config. I mean, it's so similar, it's almost like identical. With a few like little minor exceptions, but it works well. All right, come on, chip away. See, that's the thing, when you're a little bit older, it's like the first 18 years pretty easy to remember.
We're currently near Windham, Minnesota, which is mostly famous for being the kind of place people drive through on their way to somewhere else. The town was established in 1871, which is so long ago that people still thought the earth was flat, or at least very lumpy. Windham is named after William Windham, who was a senator, not a weather phenomenon, which is disappointing. My friend Toby once tried to start a weather-themed festival here, but he only managed to attract 3 people and a confused sheep. The sheep won best costume, dressed as a cumulonimbus cloud.
Okay, so this, I really have been paying close attention to the Olympics. And of all things, I have been watching curling, and I couldn't stop watching it. What's wrong with me? But it's, I went back and researched a little bit about curling and some of the, like the little details of curling, and it was fascinating, even to the point of where the rocks came from, like the huge rocks they use from one island. Only one island's made all of the rocks. Fascinating. I play a little chess, but I'm not great.
Delta 2122, I need you at flight level 360, sir.
Delta 2122, we will be there momentarily.
Delta 2122, roger.
It's really on grunt for that last 1,000 feet. Just had a weird phenomena there. Alright, I mean, it really is, man. We're at 353. It is straining for that last 700 feet. Here we go. Almost there, almost there. Come on. Seatbelt sign is off.
radar 9 o'clock. About 11 miles out, you'll see Sibley Municipal Airport. It's one of those airports that sounds like it should be much busier than it actually is. Built in the mid-20th century, probably because someone thought, what this town really needs is somewhere for planes to land. It's now mostly used by people who like to fly just to say they've been somewhere. My friend Toby once tried to impress a group of pilots here by attempting to land a hot air balloon on the runway. He misjudged the wind and ended up in a field, being chased by a cow that apparently had a thing against aviation.
I've had, I was in quite a few. Longest one I was ever in was 13.5 miles. And I still remember the guy's name. Michael Greg Waller was the suspect. And when I finally, we run and roadblocked him, literally had to like use a rolling running roadblock to get him to stop. And when we did, he took off running, and I chased him waist level into a barbed wire fence. To my chagrin, he was done running when he ran into that barbed wire fence. Let me get an estimation based on 3 times, and I'll tell you. I'll get a rough idea at least. We are 1,168 miles outside of LAX. We are in time compression of three times. Let me see. I'd say about 45 minutes at the longest. Roughly 45 minutes, maybe less. What I'll do is when we get about 200 miles outside, I'll stop the time compression and we will get ready to descend. There were other car chases too. That's just the one that kind of sticks out at the moment. That was the 13.5 mile chase. Okay, so that's pretty good.
Delta 2122, contact Minneapolis Center on 132.05.
Contacting Minneapolis Center on 132.05, Delta. Minneapolis Center, Delta 2122. Good evening. Maintaining flight level 360.
Delta 2122, Minneapolis Center, good evening.
I have been shot at more than once, and fortunately I've never got a bullet. Never took a bullet. I've been stabbed in my vest, my Kevlar vest, and worked a lot of high-profile cases. Here, the sun comes up in about 7 hours, like a little over 7 hours. Right. It is 11:41 p.m. here in North Carolina. I wouldn't say that. Average.
Since there's nothing but endless fields and the occasional cow beneath us, let's talk about Yankton, the nearest city. Yankton was once the capital of the Dakota Territory, which sounds impressive until you realize the territory was mostly just grass and people arguing about whose horse was the fastest. The city was founded in 1859, which is so long ago that people probably thought Wi-Fi was a type of hat. My mate Toby once tried to set up a lemonade stand here during the annual Riverboat Days festival, but he accidentally used river water. He ended up inventing a new kind of lemonade that was so fizzy it cleaned coins.
I'm gonna give y'all a one of my shows, and if you ever want to see it, it's called My Murder Story. This is a series I'm giving you that's on Oxygen or some of the true crime channels. The name of the episode is Soaked in Murder. I think that was one. Or search, I think Tim, P-O-C-C-K-O-W-S-K-I, is the case. But if you look, you'll find it on you'll find 6 or 7 episodes, but that's the one that just sticks out. More recent, My Murder Story, Soaked in Murder is the name of the episode. If y'all are into like true crime at all, some are, some aren't. See, I'll give you an idea how this is speeding us up. So we're at 1,073 miles out, but I'm seeing the miles click down pretty quick. So we should be able to knock this out. See what's going on in the back. Anything? All right, Aussie. Peace. Yeah, y'all got some of my faves there down in Aussie land. You've got the Wiggles, which I had to watch over and over and over again because that was my son's favorite show for many years when he was young. And the Crocodile Hunter. Boy, miss that guy. He's a good guy. Steve Irwin. Is it Chris Hemsworth, Aussie? Who's Aussie?
Since there's absolutely nothing but fields and the odd cow visible from up here, let's talk about Bassett, Nebraska, the nearest town. Bassett was founded in 1884, which is so long ago that people probably thought Wi-Fi was a type of hat. The town is mostly famous for being the kind of place where nothing ever happens, unless you count the time my mate Toby tried to dig for oil in his nan's backyard and hit a septic tank instead. The smell was so bad, even the cows started wearing gas masks.
Oh, she is so bad. Toliss has done a really good job on this aircraft. Here's something like if you use the Toliss A321 Neo, or for that matter any of the Toliss A series, and the Toliss, the open ISCS screen, there's a setting, and I have it set here, it's an interval, so this is my autosave. It will autosave every 30 minutes right here. And if something happens, like gets really, something just goes south, then it's going to autosave it. I can go back and load the autosave, and it works great. Something in the say intention side, it's good. This is say intentions, and so this is where we're getting that, like our flight attendant, our tour guide, and my co-pilot, my pilot monitor. This is where all this comes from.
Delta 2122, contact Denver Center on 127.905.
Denver Center, Delta 2122. Good evening, with you flight level 360. Denver Center, Delta 2122. Good evening, with you flight level 360.
Delta 2122, radar contact, continuous filed, maintain flight level 360.
Delta 2122, Denver Center, good evening.
Maintain flight level 360, continuing as filed, Delta 2122.
Okay. You know, that's be the first. That really fits. You can come up with y'all's own version. We've got the Born in the USA song. Y'all can come up with a good one for Born in Australia. Put a little bit of that Aussie, kind of that Aussie flair to it. It'll sound good. Keep up with our progress with this. Right here it says we're 988 miles out. See how quickly they tick off. It's pretty fast. That should be about right, Web Solution. All right, man.
Since there's absolutely nothing but fields and the odd cow visible from up here, let's talk about Mullen, Nebraska, the closest town. Mullen was founded in 1888, which is so long ago that people probably thought electricity was just a rumor. The town is mostly famous for being the kind of place where tumbleweeds outnumber people. My mate Toby once tried to start a rodeo here, using only inflatable animals.
Honestly, the miles, they're going back. They're going, yeah, it's a pretty good pace. Okay. At 950 miles. Let's look outside. Right, we're clicking it away. If you want to be a good time to go get a cup of coffee or a Jolt Cola if you need one. Things are going to kind of slow down. Like slow down. What I mean is, there's not much to do for the next probably 30 minutes or so. We can go ahead and do our performance numbers. So if I go to landing performance and I tell it we're going to be doing brake mode of medium. And this shows we're in good shape. Arrival has a QNH of 3014. Temp is 15. Winds are from 310 at 5. And decision height is 300. Alright. So we already have our our approach numbers loaded. We already have our runway information
Since
loaded.
there's absolutely nothing but fields and the odd cow visible from up here, let's talk about Alliance, Nebraska, the closest city. Alliance is mostly famous for Carhenge, which is like Stonehenge, but made out of old cars instead of rocks. It was built in 1987 by a bloke called Jim Reinders, who probably just had too many cars and not enough friends. My mate Toby once tried to recreate Carhenge in his own backyard using shopping trolleys, but he accidentally summoned what he thought was a druid.
Oh my word. Yeah, we're clicking away. Alright, just hold on and enjoy the ride for a bit. Oh yeah, cold. We're nearing under, or in the, we'll be in the 700s for arrival.
Delta 2122, contact Denver Center on 134.575.
Switching to Denver Center on 134.575, Delta 21. Denver Center, Delta 2122. Good evening at flight level 360.
Delta 2122, Denver Center, good evening.
At hour 2 o'clock, about 12 miles out, you'll spot Capital City Stadium. It's a cinema, which is basically a giant dark room where people pay to sit quietly and stare at a wall for 2 hours, unless someone forgets to silence their phone. The stadium itself isn't ancient, but in cinema terms, anything older than the last Marvel film feels prehistoric. My mate Toby once tried to sneak into a film here, dressed as a popcorn machine.
We're chipping away at it. We're 772 miles outside. We're about to drop under 700. Wow. Chipping away. I know it's got kind of quiet for a moment, but we're about 724 miles outside of LAX. and we're on time compression that's running at about 3.0x, so it shouldn't be long. When we get to 200, that's when I stop it and we plan on our top of descent.
Since there's absolutely nothing but mountains, trees, and the odd elk visible from up here, let's talk about Granby, Colorado, the closest town. Granby was founded in 1905, which is so long ago that people probably thought Wi-Fi was a kind of weather. The town is mostly famous for being near Rocky Mountain National Park, which is basically a giant pile of rocks that people like to walk up for no reason. My mate Toby once tried to camp here, but he accidentally pitched his tent on a moose trail and woke up being spooned by a very confused moose.
Oh, that's awful. All right. 696 miles. Actually, we're making good headway. Good.
Delta 2122, contact Denver Center on 132.85.
All right.
Denver Center, Delta 2122. Good evening, maintaining flight level 360. Denver Center, Delta 2122. Good evening, maintaining flight level 360.
Delta 2122, Denver Center, good evening.
Since there's absolutely nothing but mountains, trees, and the odd elk visible from up here, let's talk about Glenwood Springs, the closest town. Glenwood Springs is famous for its hot springs, which are basically nature's way of making bathwater without the hassle of a tub. People have been coming here to soak since the 1800s, probably because they didn't have Netflix. My mate Toby once tried to make his own hot spring by pouring boiling water into a kiddie pool at the town park.
About to drop below the 600 mark, so we'll be in the 500s. Wow, chipped away at it.
Since there's absolutely nothing but mountains, trees, and the odd elk visible from up here, let's talk about Norwood, Colorado, the closest town. Norwood was founded in the late 1800s, which is so long ago that people probably thought the only way to get around was by horse or by being carried by a very strong relative. The town is mostly famous for being near the Uncompahgre Plateau, which is basically a giant bit of land that couldn't decide if it wanted to be a mountain or just a really big hill. My mate Toby once tried to paraglide off the plateau, but he got tangled in a flock of migrating geese and ended up in Utah.
We're getting close to dropping below the 500 into the 400s for distance to the airport. Okay, how are we doing?
Delta 2122, contact Denver Center on 125.35.
Contacting Denver Center on 12... Denver Center, Delta 2122. Good evening, maintaining flight level 360. Denver Center, Delta 2122. Good evening, maintaining flight level 360.
Delta 2122, Denver Center, good evening.
Since there's absolutely nothing but rocks, dust, and the odd lizard visible from up here, let's talk about Bluff, Utah, the closest town. Bluff was founded in 1880 by a group of Mormon pioneers who probably thought, let's settle somewhere with absolutely no water and see what happens. The town is famous for its dramatic sandstone bluffs, which look like someone tried to stack pancakes but gave up halfway through. My mate Toby once tried to climb one of these bluffs dressed as a giant cactus for a bet.
We're on time compression right now, but we'll be going off in about another 250 miles. Yeah, we're chipping away here. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. We must be getting near the airport. My cat's here. Closer. Hey, babe. You'll hang out. Okay. All right.
Since there's absolutely nothing but rocks, dust, and the odd lizard visible from up here, let's talk about Page, Arizona, the closest city. Page was founded in 1957, which is so recent that people probably already knew what a television was, but still thought microwaves were a bit suspicious. The town is mostly famous for being near Lake Powell, which is basically a giant puddle created when someone decided to put a plug in the Colorado River.
We're 365 miles. When I'm looking at distance on the McDo, this is our overall distance, corrected distance to the runway. Right, time compression's still on.
Delta 2122, contact Los Angeles Center on 124.85.
You heard that? We're getting close. We're getting in the range.
Los Angeles Center, Delta 2122. Good evening. At flight level 360. Los Angeles Center, Delta 2122. Good evening. At flight level 360.
Delta 2122, Los Angeles Center, good evening.
Check the map, see if there's anything I need to consider. The cool thing about this approach, it looks like we're like going straight in. It won't be like a left-right transition. It will actually be just in a straight-in approach to LAX. Unless they vector us, hope they don't. Man, that looks good. Everything looks good. Okay. Well, if I thought I would do any good, we're actually, well, if we're at 3.0x time speed. So that's as fast as I can run and render. So I'm basically the fastest time compression I can be at, but yeah, that'd be nice. Jet rockets. Okay, we just dropped under 299 and counting down.
absolutely nothing but rock, dust, and the odd lizard visible from up here, let's talk about Grand Canyon Bar 10 Airstrip, the closest airstrip. The Bar 10 Airstrip is basically a strip of land where people land planes, presumably because they can't be bothered to walk. It was built so people could get to the Grand Canyon without having to hike, which is clever, but also a bit lazy.
I guess it is. Okay, we're 271 miles out. Top of the descent for us, it's probably still about 130 miles away. That's all right. We're going in on what they call the Angel for arrival. This. And we're currently on the De Niro waypoint. De Niro, yeah. All the waypoints have Hollywood celebrity names. Show you how fast we're going, how it looks. You can see the McDo or the my flight computer. So when we get to SLLRS, I will take us off of time compression, and we'll be back on our regular time, and be preparing for top descent, and that will put us maybe about 50 miles outside of top of descent. Who's in Titanic 2? Y'all know it sank, right? No. Kate Winslet, love her, but in the first one. And DiCaprio did a good job too.
Since there's absolutely nothing but
not a
rocks,
big
dust,
imbalance.
and the odd lizard visible from up here, let's talk about Bullhead City, the closest city. Bullhead City was established in the 1940s, which is so recent that people probably already knew what a television was, but still thought microwaves were a bit suspicious. The city got its name from a rock formation that apparently looked like a bull's head, although I think it probably just looked like a
Contact
rock.
Los Angeles Center on 128.075.
Los Angeles Center, Delta 2122. Good evening. At flight level 360. Los Angeles Center, Delta 2122. Good evening. At flight level 360.
Delta 2122, Los Angeles Center, good evening. Radar contact 15 miles west of Bullhead, maintaining flight level 360.
Maintaining flight level 360. Delta 2122.
Getting a message land ASAP, but we're good, we're okay. We're at 2,740 pounds of fuel, and we're 169 miles from the airport, so we should be okay. Oh, who's the best? Right, time compression's off. We're on real time, and we're preparing for descent. Shortly here, we're about 25 miles outside of descent. Madison, you want to get our clearance to descend on the Angel 4 arrival?
All right, Steve. I'll get our clearance to descend on the Angel 4 arrival.
Los Angeles Center, Delta 2122 here, requesting clearance to descend on the Angel 4 arrival.
Delta 2122, descend via Angel 4 to 14,000 De Niro, transition into Los Angeles, altimeter 3007.
Descend via Angel 4 to 14,000, De Niro, transition into Los Angeles, altimeter 3007, Delta 2122.
And we're on our descent into the Los Angeles area. We are 138 miles outside of LAX.
Lieutenant, please prepare the cab for arrival.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our initial descent. At this time, we ask that you kindly begin to recheck the security of your seatbelt. And if you've removed any items from the overhead bins, please begin to restow them at this time. Please check around your seating area and the seat pocket
Since
in front
there's
of you for any
absolutely
cups, glasses,
nothing
or
but
other articles
rocks,
you wish to
dust,
discard,
and the odd lizard visible
kindly
from
hand
up
these items
here,
to the flight
let's
attendants
talk
as they
about
make their way
Amboy,
through the aisle.
California,
Thank
the
you so much. We
closest
should be landing in
town.
approximately 15 to
Amboy
20
was founded
minutes.
in 1883, which is so long ago that people probably thought the internet was just a rumor started by pigeons. The town is mostly famous for being on Route 66, which is a road people used to drive on before sat-navs were invented and everyone got lost. My mate Toby once tried to set up a lemonade stand here using only lemons he found growing wild, but it turned out they were actually just rocks painted yellow.
Silly. No, we can't nosedive. I guess we could, but it's never the fall that kills you, it's the sudden stop at the end. Right, good night, buddy. Our fuel consumption will start slowing now that we're descending because we're using less power, even at idle, most of the way down. Nosedive. Oh, come on, Louise. Can't do that. So, auto brake is set to medium for our approach and our landing. We'll have the ground spoiler armed and we'll be at full flaps on our approach. Not yet. We will be. Addison, do our approach briefing.
All right, Steve. We'll be arriving at Los Angeles on runway 24 right using the ILS approach. We'll be flying the Angel for arrival. Transition level is 18,000 feet. After the star, we'll intercept the ILS to runway 24 right. Weather at arrival shows winds 310 at 5 knots, clear skies, no significant weather expected. In the event of a missed approach, we'll follow the published missed approach procedure. Squawk code remains 3556, and approach frequency will be 124.3. We'll configure for landing with flaps 30. Final approach speed will be 135 knots. Once on the ground, we'll be taxiing to gate, Terminal 3, 6. I think we're ready for the arrival, Captain.
Yeah, I think we're ready for our arrival. That would be a good fast descent. started our descent a
Since
tad
there's absolutely nothing but
early.
rocks, dust, and the odd lizard visible from up here, let's talk about Landers, California, the closest town. Landers is mostly known for the Integratron, which is a giant dome built in the 1950s by a bloke who thought it could recharge your body like a phone. Apparently, it was designed using instructions from aliens, which is probably why it looks like a cross between a spaceship and a giant egg. My mate Toby once tried to sneak into the Integratron to see if he could get a free cosmic tune-up, but he got stuck in the gift shop and ended up buying a crystal that supposedly makes you invisible.
Alright, so here it is tomorrow. It is almost, it's 12:48 a.m. It's actually much earlier in LA right now. I'm trying to think, it was 9:40, maybe 8:49 a.m., not p.m. in LA. It's still yesterday in LA. We'll have a hard stop at 27, flight level 275, where for about 4 miles. I think we may keep going. Our rate of descent's perfect right now if we keep going. Yeah, we're good. LA, we love it. And if that made sense, so we're doing a straight in approach. That means that the direction we're going right now is close to the direction of the runway that we're want to arrive on. The reason we can't descend any faster is if you descend too fast going into LA, you could end up in a mountain. We're 84 miles out from the airport. Yeah, fuel looks acceptable. Although we didn't have much reserves left when we land. What's our estimated? Estimated is we'll have a little less than 1,000 pounds of fuel. We'll have 0.9. That's good planning though. It's good, like fuel we loaded. It's perfect, but it's really still, we're cutting it close. What's that flashing way out there in the distance? It's an airport. What is that? What airport? It's a regional airport, I think. Let's see what it is. I'm curious.
At our 1 o'clock, about 26 miles out, you'll see Helm and Sons Amusement. It's an amusement park, which is basically a place where people pay to be spun around, dropped from great heights, and then pay even more for a hot dog that tastes like regret. The park isn't ancient, but in amusement park years, anything that survived more than a decade without being haunted is practically a miracle. My mate Toby once tried to win a giant teddy bear here by playing one of those rigged claw machines. He got so frustrated he crawled inside the machine to prove a point and had to be rescued by a man dressed as a giant banana.
Arrival QNH is 3014. And we're 66 miles outside, near Route 66. Landing sites are on, and ground spoiler is going to armed.
Delta 2122, contact SoCal approach on 124.3.
Contacting SoCal approach on 124.3. Delta 2122.
That's not our airport, but there are a lot of airports like that around here, corporate jet airports, or general aviation.
SoCal approach, Delta 2122. Good evening, descending flight level 180.
Delta 2122, SoCal approach. Good evening, Los Angeles altimeter 3014, cleared circus transition. Expect the ILS runway 24 right approach into Los Angeles.
Altimeter 3014, cleared circus transition. Expecting ILS runway 24 right approach into Los Angeles.
That's perfect.
Delta 2122.
HO4 circus transition, everything's perfect. It's good. Speed's very well managed going down. Right at, we're coming right down to around 250 knots by the time we hit 10,000. It's good. lights are up.
Since there's absolutely nothing but rocks, dust, and the odd lizard visible from up here, let's talk about Riverside, the closest city. Riverside was founded in the 1870s, which is so long ago that people thought oranges were just decorative balls for Christmas trees. The city is mostly famous for starting the whole California citrus industry, which is basically responsible for every glass of orange juice you've ever had. My mate Toby once tried to sneak into an orange grove here dressed as a giant fruit fly, but he got chased out by a group of angry farmers wielding hoses.
So messed up. Okay. Alright, 2000. That'll go off. That's a sensor. Any alerts I need to pay attention to? No. Right, so then we're dropping to 250 knots. Following the rules is good. We're probably less than 10 minutes outside of landing. We're 33 miles outside of LAX. We're at 240 knots now. We're about to drop down to about to our approach speed, and so we're not far at all. See the good looking LAX customs. That's custom scenery from Nimbus. Nimbus is the creator. Traffic Global is any of our additional in-traffic insertions coming from Traffic Global. So anything you see, any aircraft you see out there in the distance, that's all Traffic Global. In fact, I see one there, and I see one there. I see an Air Canada and Air American Airlines out in the distance. And there's a general aviation one over here on the ground. Right, and we are in approach mode. Flaps are at 1. Miles out. You can actually see, I think, LAX in the distance. We're coming in on 24 right. looks like, yeah, these are our arrival runways, I think. We're already lined up. I'm going to go ahead and start the approach. So approach, I've activated approach. We're already lined up on the localizer. Okay. And we are 18 miles outside of LAX. We are currently at 5,000 and descending. Looks like we're getting close to capturing the localizer.
Delta 2122, proceed direct merge. Descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Altimeter 3014 until established on the localizer, cleared for the ILS runway 24 right approach.
You heard it.
Delta 2122, contact Los Angeles Tower on 120.9 or 5.
Proceeding direct merge. Descend and... Los Angeles Tower, Delta 2122. Good evening. Established on the ILS runway 24 right approach.
Delta 2122, Los Angeles Tower, roger, continue approach.
Ground spoilers are armed. Auto brake is medium. Flaps are at 1. Flaps are at 2. Right, we have captured the localizer for the glide scope, and autopilot 2 is engaged. We're on the Cat 3 dual ILS approach. We're 11 miles out. Flaps, landing gear is about to come down.
Delta 2122, wind 310 at 5, runway 24 right, cleared to land.
Runway 24 right, cleared to land. Delta 2122.
We're close to, we're on final approach now, short final.
2,500.
know that because in the bottom right of your screen, you see the cat that comes up the minute, like 10 miles from the runway every time. I'm gonna hear the shortest NTSB report ever written. You ready? Four words. Cat in the cockpit.
$2,000.
Flaps are full. We're at 140 knots. And we're on what is called stable approach. What is that out there in the distance? So get your money right. I know that actually is really there in real life. That means it actually is really there.
1,000.
Prepare the cabin. Beautiful shot of LAX right there.
$500. $400. 100 above. $300. Minimum. $200. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Retard. 5. Retard. 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 Retard.
Contact ground on 121.75.
Switching to ground on 121.75, Delta 2122.
This will be your one and only indication that it's safe for you to get up and move about the cabin. Please be reminded to use caution when opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted during landing.
Los Angeles ground,
You can now
Delta
use your mobile phone
2122.
and other handheld
Good evening,
electronic devices
cleared of
to
runway,
taxi to the
ready to taxi to the gate.
However, your laptop computers and larger electronics must remain stowed. We invite you to visit delta.com.
Delta 2122, Los Angeles ground, taxi to Terminal 3, Gate 6 via Whiskey Delta. Good day.
If any of you should have questions
Terminal 3,
regarding ground
Gate 6
transportation,
via
baggage
Whiskey
claim,
Delta.
or any other information, a Uniform Delta agent meeting this flight will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. On behalf of Delta Sky Team, our global partners, and flight crew, we'd like to thank you all for flying with us. We've enjoyed having you on board and look forward to the opportunity to serve you once again. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening. Flight attendants, prepare doors for arrival, please. Cross-checking all call.
Welcome to LAX. Not sure where they're taking me or what. Should have a gate. Yeah, we're good. I told you this place is a busy place. This is LAX, even in the well, right now it's prime time there. I mean, we came from the east side of the United States to the west side, and lose time before you go to the west side. Terminal, everything's beautiful here. So, see. Here's our gate. Found our gate. Yeah. Brake. Chocks in place. We made it. We made it. Okay. Oh. That's kind of neat. We're in the terminal. Okay. Or was I? Here we go. Did I get ahead of my sound? I may have. Yeah, I sure did. Got ahead of my sound there. I may be able to get it back. Let me see. Let me try it again. No. Yeah, whatever the case. That's the first time I've had that on the A321neo where it didn't pick up my sound or the sound didn't catch up with the replay. Still, that's a good looking shot there. Okay. Before I get out of here, I was going to look and see if I want to see inside of any other terminal, like over there. Wow. Nice. I mean, that's a lot of detail, isn't it? That's nice. Check over here. People waiting there for their flights. Observation tower. Wow, nice hangar there. And so, welcome to LAX, and thank you for flying with us. All right, yeah, everybody have a good morning, noon, evening, and night.